We on live now. Just let you know we on live now.
Okay. Okay. And then just pass it over to me, right? We just dance it out. I love it.
All right. So we about to start.
I'm gonna pop this bottle while we start. Do you want some key? Okay. Do you want some math?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate you
It's
offering.
you and I, honey bunny.
You and I see why.
Okay. You might have to bring a bottle to the studio. You guys know me in the studio. When we're in VPR, we bring it this way. Guests come in, we got the fruit and it's a whole experience.
Okay.
Right? They like the fruit and the wine and the what's your stuff.
Now see on the hand claps.
Yeah.
I love that picture too.
How y'all doing? This is Coach D from Code 31 Media TV Podcast. Y'all know how we get it started. It's Code 31. And this is the fourth show and the last show of January. And what I wanted to do this whole month of my first podcast is bringing people that have been motivational and inspirational to me. So the first week I had my cameraman. The second week I had other people come in. The third week, same thing. But this week, I have 3 instrumental people that were actually at the red carpet for the documentary of the Video Music Box documentary, and it was amazing. And so I have right here the real Lisa Ray. I have Kiana and my very special guest who is sponsoring my show tonight by FUBU, Mr. Keith Perrin from FUBU.
Doing it.
Yes. So I just
honored to be on such a great guest list. I'm
yes. I want you guys to understand that I appreciate, when you gave me that talk, when you let me do the red carpet for Video Music Box, and this young man has been my childhood hero from Southside Jamaica, Queens, watching FUBU.
I think for many of us, right? The whole team and for hip hop.
So to have him come into my life and inspire me and to sponsor me with the gear is just tremendous and priceless. And I just want y'all to know that other people may not appreciate you guys, but I truly appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank
I
you very
appreciate you
much.
right back.
Yes. So we're gonna start with you, Miss Lisa Ray.
No.
Yes. Because what you told me, what you've been doing with people and breaking people into the comedy industry is just phenomenal. So
Can we pop the bottle on that?
you can pop the bottle on that.
Because
Yes.
I think that's apropos.
Yeah. Now, what exactly are you pouring right
I am pouring some coconut sparkling wine. I think you'll like it.
there?
And
Give me
it
a
will
little
not have
smidge.
you
Give me a little
dancing on the
smidge.
ceiling.
Just a little something.
Oh, 31 doesn't drink.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
You tried it. You tried it.
She'll love it. You gotta do a little
That's
So we
nice.
gotta do a little
It is.
toast.
It's soft.
Toast to
It's a
the
little
unity
like a
of
sweet-
media.
Yes, absolutely. You know,
That's
I
what
see
it's
why.
all
Toast
Okay.
For
to
real.
hip hop's 50th
Toast
anniversary.
to
Amen
hip hop
to that.
50th
Definitely.
anniversary. I would love to be a part of that. So
I am hip hop.
Yes.
that's it. All right, let me get a little sip.
Period. Cheers, you guys.
Oh, that's all right. It's not bad. It's not
Isn't
bad.
it? It's light.
Especially
It's
since I don't drink.
delicious.
Yeah, like I said, if I
Easy
keep
breezy.
drinking now, I'm gonna break dance in here and you're gonna see
What
the
a
side
low
to
key.
Code 31. So, again, let's start with you
Sure.
and let them know a little bit about yourself and, your impact on the industry.
Okay. My name is Lisa Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, a lot of people know me as the real Lisa Ray because
The
I
other.
was around,
Okay.
maybe a tad bit older, but I mean, we was around kind of like in the same era, but I was around, we know a lot of the same people. So
Mhm.
I'm from Jamaica, Queens.
Southside.
Born and raised.
Mhm.
My father was a cop, 32 years, very strong from the South. My mom was Puerto Rican and she was a nurse, very sweet.
Mhm.
And so I have, my grandfather was Jamaican, so I grew up on rice and beans and collard greens. So, there's a little fire in there.
Okay.
And then that's where the passion probably comes from, naturally. I worked on Wall Street for 30 years. In investment banking, did very well for myself. And while I was doing that, I ran a company called Nonstop Entertainment along with my partner Diane Gibbs. And we did Manhattan Proper for a number of years, starting in the 90s.
Nice.
And as a result, I mean, that place on a Tuesday night where no one came to Queens. Y'all know nobody came to Queens, but they was up in Queens on a Tuesday night at the Proper in Cambria Heights. In the residential neighborhood, we had it pumping. They were spilling out into the streets. So everybody came there from Puffy to Madonna to LL, of course, Onyx, Boo Boo. Just everybody, the Giants, the Jets, whomever, Bobby Brown. If you were somebody that was getting off the airplane, LaGuardia Airport at Kennedy, on a Tuesday, your next stop was Manhattan Proper. And comedians like Bill Bellamy, the late Monterio Ivy. Of course, talent. Talent started out with us. Mike Epps, JP Smooth, who else? Tracy Morgan, and the list goes on and on. And we were honored to be able. It was a passion for us. And I'll tell you a little secret. When we first started out, we had no budget for no DJ. We had no budget. We was letting everybody in free at that time. And so their first DJ, guess who the first DJ was? I was the first DJ.
Oh,
okay.
DJ
I was the first DJ. But the funny thing is, we had a cordless mic and we had cassette tapes.
Right.
And I used to have a bag of tapes and pause, play, whatever.
Yes.
And we had this segment called the New Jack segment. So if the New Jacks came on, give them a couple of minutes. If they were doing good, give them a little bit more. And if they were no good, forget it, whatever. And so I can remember specifically In Vogue is out, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. And people used to be like, or Cypress Hills, right? Here is something you can't understand. I would just, and it would just all be so appropriate.
Right.
We had, Supreme Team in the house, all of the who's who from Queens was up in there.
There's gotta be a book coming from
and they were
There's gotta be a book.
there's something coming. I'm not saying that.
A whole lot of something, I bet.
But it was a culture that was, evolving because the culture was already, it is comedy, I definitely say that that's the urban comedy. Black comedy is the sister to hip hop. You know what I mean? And for me, I grew up back in the day. I was up at the Disco Fever on a regular basis. I had no business, but I was there.
Right.
And so, I was with Grand Master Flash and Furious 5. And I'm straight hip hop. The DJs that were at the Disco Fever were, Junebug, the late Junebug, Disco B, Busy B, Lovebug Starsky, the late Lovebug Starsky. The music would just move you, and it was tight up in there, but you would be fiending to get up in there.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I've done a lot of things. I had a couple records out back in the day, a group called Delicious. Myself, a good friend I grew up with, Tracy, and my late sister, Maria Ray, who unfortunately passed away August 2021, 59 years old, to cancer. Thank you. But, rest in peace, my big sister. There's a documentary coming out, Gusto, Robert Wells. They did the Rucker Games, the Entertainers basketball tournament. My old managers, we've had a couple of records out back then, and my old managers. In fact, they're relaunching Rooftop Records this Friday, January 27th, at the Legends Lounge in Harlem. So we'll plug for you, Gus.
Nice.
So, it's just so.
I'm gonna Google their group. I need to hear it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we got some. We have 2 songs: "Stop Playing" and "Body and Soul."
Right.
And then fast forward, I didn't do anything for a number of years. I got really into the church, and of course, promoting comedy. And we've done everything from colleges to always having the Tuesday night, the longest running comedy. They called it a club. You know what I mean? But Manhattan Proper gave you that experience while it was in Queens. You felt like you was in Manhattan. When you hit Manhattan, you're like, yeah, and that's the experience that you got. And people came from everywhere. Staten Island. Come on, I'm telling you, I can remember specifically Puffy coming in one day And I was, I had a little demo. So I was like, let me let you hear my song. He was like, the honeys. I said, okay, they gonna be here when you get back. Let's go. So I said, come to my car. So we got in the car, popped in the tape. He was like, yeah, it's good. He was like, I just signed this girl, and the girl he was talking about was fake.
Wow.
So it was crazy. So I was like, but it was all good. You know what I mean? I mean, just the energy, and we greeted everybody with love. We embraced everyone, and Diane would tell you that. The whole comedy concept was Diane Gibbs' concept, and I was always like the make it happen person. So together we were like the dynamic duo.
That's right.
And for women to do it, you know what I mean? We loved it.
Yeah.
We loved it. We loved it. And there's definitely, some history and some stories, but we had a lot of fun. And I still want to share that.
Yeah.
With people. I think it's important for young people to know
That's right.
the history. And I'm telling you, all of my friends, even when Dr. Dre came out, with not Dr. Dre, but NWA came out.
Yeah.
I used to be blasting, and that stuff was totally X-rated, right? And I used to be in my Acura Integra blasting it, with the bowl system, and Diane used to be sinking down because some of the stuff that they used to say was off the chain, right?
Right.
But it was about the vibration, right? Because music moves you, you know what I mean? And music makes you feel good.
Yes.
Today, unfortunately, in some instances, and it's just my personal opinion, a little seasoned, but some of the lyrics you hear sometimes, young people get that in their spirit, in their system, and they act on it. And it's really supposed to be for entertainment purposes, right? And that's the unfortunate part. So I think we have a responsibility to share, if we can, so these young people can understand what it really is. And I'm telling you, people like Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, the Cold Crush Brothers, Kumo D, Treacherous 3, who else? I got some people you probably wouldn't even know who they were if I started mentioning them, but they have a history, and Cool Herc, obviously, he tells his story, but there's a history up in the Bronx where the people are fresh. Curtis Blow, those is all my people. Those are all my people. Like that was Larry Smith, the late Larry Smith. Larry Smith was he produced Run DMC. Yep. Houdini. Jalil, shout out to Jalil, and rest in peace, S.STREET, and shout out to Grandmaster D.
People, right? Like so many people you named, it's like an RIP attached, and it's like, man,
absolutely.
Another one.
But Larry was so dope. He was a bass player, he was a producer, he was amazing, and he was like my uncle. So I hung out with him and Bugsy on a regular basis. I'm talking about 15 years old, they'd be picking me up, and my father was like, you gotta, and they protected me, but I'm hanging out because it was about the music. So it was always about the music for me, you know what I mean? And although, we saw some things, and we experienced some things, as a result of the culture, but it was always about the music.
Yeah.
That's indeed.
And what inspired you to want to launch the career like big time comedian?
Well, what it was is that I wanted to be respected as a businesswoman, and that's the fact of it, because I would go into the studio sometime, and I'm like, turn off all lights, because the producers would be saying stuff that's inappropriate to me, and I was like, and I'm young, I'm a teenager, right? And I'm like, I can't sing, I can't, and what do you mean? And I'm like, I can't. So I had to go home, psych myself out, because remember what this guy just said to me, and I gotta sing. So I wanted to be respected as a businesswoman, and a lot of times people would be like, oh, she has a bad attitude. I am vocal, I speak up, but I was raised that way. And I wanted to be respected. So I had an opportunity to get together with my partner, Diane Gibbs, who, like I said, she was the brainchild of Nonstop Entertainment. And it started out with 5 people. And then I kind of came in, I was just helping her, but it became the 2 of us. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So it's just like from the heart, wanting that respect as a business woman, letting people see that we could do it too. Absolutely. And that's where it came from. Yeah, and it still goes on. Yes. It still goes on, because now I'm at a place, fast forward, I've started my nonprofit, after being diagnosed with MS. And I've written 2 books. So Angel's Heart, Guided by Light, a book of inspiration poetry. A contributing author to the book called The Reveal, 10 inspirational testimonies overcoming adversity. So now I'm here to help people, and while helping myself, inspire people and encourage people, which encourages me to keep moving. And just started grad school today for my master's in disability studies.
I love it.
So,
You know what? From all of the things that you've accomplished, everything that you do with love, and you know that is why the continuous success and the doors that you open. It's just like it's instrumental to so many people. I can't even imagine how many you've touched, and your comparison to hip hop and comedy as like brother is so true because they're both like born from pain, right? Most comedians that are the best comedians, they've been through some shit,
and
right?
yeah,
And that's what they're talking. That's what they're coming from. It's
right.
like hip hop.
They're getting therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It comes from that drip.
No question. No
telling
question.
that story.
No question about it.
So we're gonna move forward. Kiana, let the world know who
She's
you are.
amazing. I want to talk more about Lisa, to be honest with you. I definitely got to hit you up to have you on VPR as well. I hope you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. She gotta come back for part 2.
Absolutely. For sure. So guys, you're at The Real Lisa Ray on Instagram.
And
Make
Angel's
sure you
Heart.
guys, and Angel's Heart, make sure you follow her. Hi, Ty. How are you? I'm Troy. Hi, Robert. So,
All right,
what's
so
up?
Kiana, let the world know who you are and VPR radio and everything that you do, because you know.
Okay, so I have a lot going on. I am first and foremost a writer, a professional writer, which is really where the core of everything I do stems from, right? So when I was working in the fashion industry, whether sending threatening emails to factories to make sure that they ship on time, or rewriting a quality manual with testing standards, right? The core of it is always writing. So once I became an entrepreneur, I kept that. And like you, I first eased into journalism because I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Found myself interviewing people. Shannon Briggs was one of my first interviews, and I was like, oh shit, these doors opening are showing me where I need to be, right? But I was like, how do I monetize this? So I eventually, started getting clients, was doing PR for a while. But in this industry, PR gets such a bad rap. And there's a lot of PR reps that don't deliver.
No.
My business, whether when I was in corporate or now as a businesswoman, always speaks for herself. If you Google Goddess Media or VPR Radio, everything is 5 stars across the board. I have, I show you data. I just got certified in data analysis by Google. Like, I don't play games when it comes to my business and my clients, right? Like you said, being respected as a woman. Bro, I felt it. I just wanted to just be applauding as you were speaking the whole time. Like, I understand it. Yeah. So I'm a writer, and then through that, I continue to discover marketing. Back in 2010, I taught myself SEO. Now this was before SEO is what it was now, right? So even like with the data analysis in 5 years or even 2 years from now is going to be explosive. So HTML coding, I taught myself that when I was selling eBay stuff after, I gave birth to my 4th child. So I've always been, a nerdy kind of brain, scientific but creative at the same time, because I used to sing and songwrite. I've written a novel, which I actually pulled to rewrite and bring it up to date because it was published in like 2011. Things have changed so much, girl. Like I was like, we got to change up Kenya and what's going on, right? But stay true to the core of the book still and what everybody loves. So I'm looking forward to dropping that and part 2 this year. And I just brought on a new client. I'm doing her digital marketing. It's called Bombshell Whim. So she's a blog. She used to own a multi-million-dollar fashion company. So we, she's been in the fashion industry. We have a lot of parallels in that world. And now she runs this very successful blog, but she doesn't understand social media and data. And I was like, well, I got you.
Well,
right?
I love that.
So,
We're gonna have to talk.
Yeah, we all need that.
Yeah, you do, because especially when it comes to social media, I always tell clients, make sure you're driving yourself back to your own website, because they are controlling your data, right? And that's what's dangerous, because you can't get it all together, know where it's coming from. They even control the algorithm so that they're targeting. Right now on Facebook, right? Like I have 2 people watching. 3 years ago, it would have been like 202 people watching and a bunch of views. More and more, they continue to cut it so that you're running ads.
Right, and that's what they want.
Girl, in 2022, they had taken over 70% of your organic reach. So with over 5,000 friends, only 30% of them can even see me. And that's if they put favorites. They gotta favorite you. And a lot of people don't even know that. So they're like, why do I see the same 38 people over and over?
It's not getting out in front of people the way that we would like it to. And it's like you got all these friends, you got 5,000 friends, 10,000 friends, and you're not reaching everybody. They're like, oh, I didn't see this, I missed it.
And not even just everybody, because you know that you can't accurately reach everyone, right? It would have to be when you're honing in on, okay, what do we have in common? But that's why it's also important to follow like-minded individuals and stuff. But that 30%, now you have to scale it down. It's probably like 7%. And that's crazy. That makes your numbers really small. Whereas when it goes directly to your website, you can see your numbers, you can see where they're coming from, tag it to Google Analytics, you know, SEMrush. I work with SEMrush a lot.
So you know how to make your own app?
No, I'm not an app developer.
Well, we can learn that. We can learn that together. We can
Yeah,
share that
good.
together.
Because honey, let me tell you something.
That's what we need.
Data analysis, becoming certified in data analysis has been the most difficult in terms of like studying, and I've done some difficult things. 10,000 Women program, that was difficult. Like learning about flammability testing and ASTM and FTC guidelines, and you know, that was all difficult. But this, the coding, the SQL,
metrics reporting is
and all of that, and then what I love, right, and transforming it, knowing how to clean it, how to organize it, and then transforming it into something that everybody could understand, right? Someone that doesn't know anything about data, I could show you this whole beautiful visualization. You're like, oh, I get it, right? And that's
I want to turn my interviews into animation too.
So I love that.
I want to.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
It's really
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Or
comic books too, right?
Like, yeah, like I draw, so I want to do a comic book.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I have an idea, but you know, I can't.
Yeah, behind the scenes,
yeah,
right?
I want to do a
Not
comic
on
book,
here.
coloring book, and yeah, I want to do a lot of stuff. But tell me the pros and cons of being in this industry, ladies.
Oh, definitely the cons are like men trying to hit on you, right? And not getting the respect for sure. But I don't know what the term it was that you used, whether you said like attitude or something. I think sometimes women, and especially women, are perceived that way because we have to present ourselves with authority. There's a difference between being aggressive or being this and that and having authority. And a lot of times people that deny you of that are intimidated by those factors because they don't really know what to do with it.
That's from when I was this big. The intimidation was always there.
Always, honey. I have always experienced that. Even men that I've dated in the past have been like, oh, I just don't know what to do with you. Like, I'm so intimidated. I can't even, like, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, because I grew up with an older brother, 8 years older than me. So, you know, growing up in Southside, he had me playing against grown men at 12 on the basketball court, and I played baseball and all that. So I use my basketball mentality in the media world. So, like, if somebody tries to come at me or try to be disrespectful, I'm like, nah, that's not gonna fly with me.
Oh, this is just when whenever I've been like tried, I really I dip into my intelligence bag, right? Because you know, I'm way more intelligent than I even let on to.
Right.
So sometimes dude will be like, oh, blah, 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 and I'll just hit him with some, oh, what are we talking about? This and that, or oh, did you want to get this done because you know the cost? Are we gonna do verticals? Like what? He's like,
yeah, never let him see you sweat.
Right.
You know. It's funny how people will just, you know, try to think that you are, you know, they'll try to challenge your intellect.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, because now listen, anybody that knows me, I'm telling you, my friends will be like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. They'll be like this.
Uh-oh.
That's what you should gonna do.
Trigger.
And I have shut quite a few people down and set them straight. You know, let's stay on topic and don't try it.
Right, she said that with authority.
No, because and they will tell you, they'll be like, oh boy, they're going Lisa Ray. Like, you know, but at the same time, I got your back. Right. You know what I mean? I am loyal. I am dedicated. And if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
And I'm willing to help. I am naturally a helper since I was a kid.
So you can tell all that love that you're giving out, girl, I feel it.
Yes. But that's who I am as a person. So it's like in all of these things happening and life happening and me, you know, being diagnosed with MS in 2016, being able to run in a pair of 4-inch heels and now barely able to put on a shoe.
Right.
It's like, okay, it doesn't matter because I'm still who I am. It helped me to be a better person.
Right.
And I found my purpose because God allowed this to happen to me because He knows I'm not just thinking about myself. I'm thinking about others.
Yes.
And you said something real powerful earlier too, which is interesting because I say this all the time. People that go through extreme difficulties in their life can sometimes fall into a victim mentality of like, why me, right?
Mhm.
But I look at the things that I've gone through as like, first of all, even when it comes to my kids, I'm like, y'all couldn't have this, the life you lead, it's very privileged. You could have never endured like even my childhood.
You couldn't live. You
Because
couldn't live.
of
You couldn't
that,
handle it. You would have been. It would have fell apart.
They would have fallen apart, maybe even committed suicide, like real shit.
No question.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I look at my kids and I'm happy because I'm like, from that, you guys got this mother. You know what I'm saying? So you're lucky because it wasn't about following what I saw. It was about, oh no, this can't be. So I'm gonna give this love. So it's so transformative, right? If you allow it to be. I think that's
Yeah,
so beautiful.
it's not about, and I often say it's not about a disability because now I'm in that community, right? So it's not about a disability, it's about an ability, and we all have an ability. So
Yeah.
what is your ability? What is that thing that you have that you can tap into, that you can share with the world? We
make it
all
better.
have something.
We
Some
do.
of us have several somethings.
Multiple. Yep,
Okay?
that's right. And
So,
you gotta use them all. They're given to you for a purpose.
That's a fact.
This is a deep conversation,
I
ladies.
agree.
We gonna have to do a part 2 because we gotta keep.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Coming
do.
up
We can't
next.
keep Mr.
But
Perry waiting.
before you guys go, let them know where they can reach you on social media.
All right. So on social media, you can find me at @the_real_Lisa Ray on Instagram, or Angels with an S Hearts for Hope on Instagram, or on Facebook, Angels Hearts for Hope on Facebook, or Angel Ray on Facebook. And you can go to my website, angelsheartsforhope.org, and then you can find out a lot more about the organization, which is Angels Hearts for Hope.
Well, we appreciate you so much, Lisa Ray. Thank you for coming through and showing us the knowledge and wisdom that you have. And you just teaching me. I'm just sitting here in awe of you ladies. But where can they reach you?
Absolutely. So, firstly, you can definitely go to my website, find out all about me and the services that I provide, from whether you're looking for a job and you need a resume, or, you need a whole campaign for data, right? www.goddessmedianyc.com. You can follow me at Kiana the Goddess, Q-No-U, right? And also VPR_radio. Check us out live every Thursday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m.
I appreciate you ladies.
Yeah.
Up next, Keith Perrin from
Yes.
FUBU. Let's
Right.
get it.
Yes, indeed. Let's slide on over.
Nobody go next to the camera, please, and be careful.
Okay.
You don't nowhere near the camera, please.
Slide on over here. All right, guys. Laura,
So these.
Okay, look. Do FUBU makeup?
No, but I must be.
Okay. Definitely. We need those.
HB, nigga. Makes it like. Niggas sit bring her back. Blind doubter. Just believe her. Just see her around her. Till I'm on the floor. Playing child four rings like the whip, so I'm already been outer. Cougars got a sword they lips. That's power. And my skin wrapped up in horsepower.
I get it really done so we can all do this together. You know what I'm saying? I'm still left out. Right in the middle of the ladies.
right?
Perfect spot right there, you know?
Like a pack of perks and Zans, so pop back. So they say,
All right.
ill nigga, and that's trip. Just trying to get a
And
deal, nigga, and that's trip. RNS to the bill, nigga, so that's trip. $100 bills, nigga.
We are back. Well, this one, I mean, the two ladies were special, but this one is very special. You have to understand, I come from Southside Jamaica, Queens. I saw the Gap commercial where LL Cool J spelled out FUBU, and it was too late for them to take it away because he advertised FUBU instead of Gap. So I would like to introduce to you guys Keith Perrin from FUBU.
What up, what up, what up, what up?
So to the people that may not know about you, Keith, or FUBU, let them know a little bit about your backstory.
How far you want me to go back?
Go back.
I'm a senior citizen, you dig? Nah, you know, I started off with the guys, obviously, in my teenage years. We formed FUBU. Damon actually formed FUBU, and actually he formed the company with the hat line, and he came up with the name FUBU a couple years later. Okay. But we wound up getting together and putting everybody putting their hats on in the bag and you know, trying to handle this fashion industry and wound up working out.
And how did you guys get LL on board?
It's crazy because Damon, we used to always chase him down when he came in the hood and just try to figure out like, hey, you know, just give us some advice, talk to us. You've been doing this, you've been in the business, you know, as a mentor mainly. And one day he said, what you guys need to do is you need to get a celebrity and put them in your clothes, you know what I'm saying? And then it'll take off. So we go back to the house and shit. He's sitting back at the house. You're like, what could we get? Who do you think is big enough? Like just trying to figure it out. And then I think I don't know if it was me or Damon said it was me, but you know, sometimes his stories be a little to the left. You know, we've been doing this a long time. But you know, somebody was like, yo, why don't we just get LL? And the light was like a light bulb and everybody had it. Next thing you know, we went back up to him and proposed it, and he was like, you know, these shirts is ugly, you know, y'all got purple on it, and, you know, ain't nobody wearing this.
Look, nobody got this.
You know,
look at that.
she's like, he's like, I gotta, you know, I gotta deal with this company coming up, and but he was looking in our eyes because we started looking a little dejected. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, son, you said you ain't gonna mess with us. You right around the way. Right. So, you know, he just is like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a try. If it works out, you know, I want y'all to take care of me. And he did. And, you know, I don't even think, you know, if people even realize when you get a spokesperson to represent your brand, it's a responsibility that they have on their part. You know, some people would be like, well, what's the parameters? I gotta wear it 4 times, I gotta show up here twice. Okay, and sometimes that's all you get. But with L, he just, yo, he took us places, you know, I got a picture of my house with him and President Clinton, Hillary Clinton, when they was, you know what I'm saying, with a big FUBU shirt in between both of them. And I'm just like, wow. You know, but yeah, so
I'm honored to be wearing my FUBU shirt. Our show is sponsored by FUBU.
He did his thing, you know, and took us, and you mentioned the Gap.
Yes.
You know, I remember getting a call from that, and my man Roundtree was like, yo, L can't fit none of these hats up here. You know, L back then, he wasn't wearing no, you know, if the hat, look, the hat has to touch right here on both his ears, or cover his ears. If it don't do that, he ain't wearing it. Okay. You know, so he wore the hat, and we knew he was wearing the hat. So we was like, yo, that's dope. We got a hat, the Gap commercial. Right. We didn't know he was gonna say what he said. So when he did that, it was like, yo, that just solidified. Like we was like, did that motherfucker just say right. You know, so we was just as surprised as everybody else when it happened.
That's awesome. So since the beginning, because you guys sold the company and then got it back.
Who?
What? I don't know.
What'd you say?
Did you guys?
You gotta take my shirt off. There's somebody. Listen, I'm getting the OG over here. I'm getting the OG over here.
So
I'm gonna tell you. So we're gonna address that.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
For the 100,000th time. We were so hot in the 90s that people couldn't understand what we were doing and how we were doing it. But every time you turned around, it was something else going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was something else going on with us, and it was like, damn, these guys like they can't miss.
Mhm.
Like, and that was a time when, Rockaway, Sean John start coming in the game,
Yeah.
and they start getting in the game.
Yeah.
And somebody said, okay, we're gonna put out this room. I don't know. I'm assuming that's how it happened because right around that time, everybody came to us and was like, oh, y'all sold the company. But what happened was around that time, we sold the territory. And I think the territory was Korea, I think.
Okay.
So if you sell a territory, you still own all the other territories. You just ain't selling in Korea.
Okay.
We ain't over in Korea.
Okay.
So y'all want to get some money and give us a piece of that. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Or we gonna sell this whole territory for you. What you gonna give me? Give me 20 million. I might not ever make 20 million over there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but people always felt like we sold the brand and it just stuck.
Okay.
And I've been addressing it ever since I think
Okay.
99.
All right.
You know what I mean? But everybody, like I said, everybody thinks that, but we didn't sell.
So this is your 30th anniversary this year.
Yeah, well, last year was 30.
Last year?
This is,
31. That's my favorite number.
We in 31, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
that's my favorite number.
that's what it is.
So you already know. So I see the FUBU radio. So just tell me, because I know one has a book out. Dame is doing his thing.
I ain't talking about none of them. Ain't no. Nah, I'm just messing with you.
I'm just saying, y'all expanded
you know what it is?
FUBU, to the radio and
what we've been doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the recessions, like I think it was 2008 or whatever, when that popped off, everything kind of just was, everywhere. So people was like, okay, we need to figure something out. So Dame, that's when he started Shark Tank.
Mm-hmm.
And we were actually supposed to be like the first reality show on BET. Mm-hmm. And he didn't want to sign on. And we didn't know that he had Shark Tank because he was still trying to figure it out. And then he wound up getting it. He even rejected it, but wound up getting it anyway. Mm-hmm. And then Jay went off, he started doing FUBU radio, forced by his network. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I got my brand all in my mouth. I can't say nobody else's.
Right.
And then Carl wound up trying to work on building our real estate and our hotel division. Okay. So he's been working on that. And then I did the radio thing. So we're still together. We're still around. We still come together, but everybody's kind of moving in their own direction now. Yes. But we,
But it's still FUBU at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
You got your own. Y'all like Voltron.
Yeah, because you know what it is? Like, even when I started the radio station, I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I think I started a modeling agency, and that was like having 100,000 wives or girlfriends asking you for stuff and just stressing you out all the time. I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
Glasses too, right? Y'all got FUBU glasses?
Yeah, we got FUBU. We relaunched in 2016, and we put out eyewear, watches. We put out our men's line. We did a bunch of collaborations with Puma and Evans Field,
21 Century 21,
Forever 21.
Forever 21.
We did something with Century 21 before they closed down. Okay. So we did a bunch of collaborations, but FUBU Radio, I started FUBU Radio in 2016. Okay. 2015, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. 2015. And like I said, I didn't want to do the modeling thing no more. So I was trying to figure out, since I love music, how would I want to, get into it again? I don't want a record label because I don't want to deal with that. Mm-hmm. But how could I get into it? A friend of mine, Demetrius, came up to me and was like, yo, my partner actually now, but back then he was saying, what you want to do? We should start do a radio station. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I ain't got no time to be on a radio station and run here and run there. I ain't got, I can't be doing all of that, But we wound up putting our heads together, not waiting to start. We just started. So I started with like a little board. Mm-hmm. I see y'all board. My board was about half the size of y'all board. Little something, you know what I'm saying? And it just started to grow and grow, and I started getting more passionate about it. And I was like, you know what? I like this part of it. And then it was the challenge of building a team and trying to get the right team. And, I would get the personalities of the DJs, and I'm like, all right, cool. Now let me go over here and get the executive side going. I go over here to the executive side, this side start falling apart. You know what I'm saying? So then I get the executive side going, now I gotta go back with the personalities. Then it was just a bunch of back and forth. And a lot of times, you know, you get people who want to be affiliated. And, you know, I get it, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you gotta do the work.
Definitely.
You gotta do the work because, you know, they used to tease me because I'm sitting here looking at y'all operation now, how y'all doing your thing. This is how I started too. I was working the cameras, I was working the lights. Some days I was the cameraman, the light man, and the engineer. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And they used to be like, hey, like, look at boss man tipping around the office. You know what I'm saying? He tipping around the office, the studio, trying to make sure all this happens. So, you know, the sometimes people get caught up in titles.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm the CEO, but I will do what I gotta do to get this done. Because if I ain't got a cameraman, then guess what? It ain't gonna get shot. If I ain't got a light man, it's gonna look dark. So what am I shooting it for? You know? And then the engineer talked about he missed the train.
Right.
So I got guests in here. So what I do? I don't have a show? The show must go on. So I just put all those hats in and finally got the team right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to get, I think I have like 20, 25 people on my staff. It's hard to get that many people to believe in you or to believe in your vision. And some did and some didn't, you know, and some are not here anymore. But it's not anything to do with me because it's just you weeded yourself out.
Definitely.
You know, I always say work will weed you out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how, you know, that's how it started. But, you know, we've been doing good. And the people who stuck on, we finally got a little deal together. Now we getting ready to do a big announcement in February. So now they see that everything that I say we were gonna do, we did.
Yes.
It just took a little longer, especially with COVID, because we turned the corner with COVID, and then COVID happened. You know what I'm saying? And we was like, you got to be kidding me.
Doesn't it feel good when you tell somebody a vision and then certain people hear it, but they don't hear it? Like even with my magazines, they was like, yo, Cole, you said you was gonna do it and you did it. But they didn't believe in me enough to help me when I was building it to get to this point.
Yeah, but that's where it go. Like people, you know, people don't help me neither. You know, you would be like, Keith, you got 1,000 friends. I'm not the type of character, I ain't gonna ask you for much. You know what I'm saying? So if I come to you and I ask you, yo, let me do some advertising with me, or, you know, and you start running in circles, like I'm about to give you, being that I'm just starting, I'm about to give you a blessing that you really don't understand. I'm not even charging you what I could charge you or that I would charge anybody else.
Yes.
Because you my peoples, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But that was in the beginning. And I went through years of that, like, yo, come mess with me, man. Cash is like, nah, you know, because sometimes, you know, and
now
I
your
get
phone
like that
ringing
too.
again now, right? Hey, Keith, yo, you remember when? Yeah, I remember.
You know, I'm kind of guilty of this too, because if somebody come to me and they tell me to invest in something or they doing something, I don't see what they really doing at that particular time, I'm gonna be like, I will come back when you got it. You know, you can get up there, like, you know what I mean? So sometimes that's how people look at things, you know? And then when you actually don't need them and you go out and get it done, then they're like, oh, you really doing this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've been getting my phone been ringing, my inbox been like, I haven't heard from you in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the magazine, I see your podcast. You know, I'm just like this one, I put this one out first.
Okay.
And KRS-One was my first interview, and it took me 2 years to get Rakim, and then I was there when T.I. was at the Barclays. So all those memories are in this one. But I would, you know, people would try to berate me and say, oh, you just selling it because it got celebrity. So then I did the second one with TikTok. Now what's your excuse?
Yeah, nah, that's dope. That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, you know, one of the reasons, because I ain't gonna lie, today they talking about the weather and it was crazy. And I'm at home and I'm like, man, what am I put on, man? I don't even feel like. But I told her I had to come out here and do this podcast.
And I truly appreciate
you know what I'm saying?
Right?
So I was like,
yeah.
I said, well, she called me. If the weather get crazy, she gonna probably call me. So I ain't get no call, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to go out here. You know what I'm saying?
No, you don't understand. Like, I truly appreciate you three coming out here. Y'all are my inspiration, and I'm overwhelmed that you actually came out. And like I said, I want to feature you guys in the magazine. I want to do something on the Legends edition of comedians, of clothing lines, of artists. I just want to change the game with my magazine. You know
and that's
what I mean?
kind of like what I want to do now, even with the radio station, and what our mission behind it is that, you know, I look at media today, and everything is clickbait, everything is you know, violent, you know, degrading, you know, and I look at our brothers and sisters, and I'm like, man, do we gotta stoop that low just to get some fame or whatever it is you're looking for? Because I see other ethnicities do it, and they'll do like a funny ass TV show that's just like on some real quirky type, crazy, funny comedy something, and I'm like, well, how can we do that? You know what I'm saying? It's always, you know, I like the way Tyler Perry is doing it because he's treating it like, you know, the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But you know, a lot of them other ones, man, like I see, like I can't watch none of that other stuff. Housewives, this, and you know, when I looked up, I was like, oh man, they got some real Black women doctor show. This is gonna be it. Like, yes, they gonna take it up. One season of season of this.
Right.
The rest of the season's ratchet. I said, no, they didn't go down ratchet.
Yeah,
why they do that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on.
Yes.
So I want to put out, like, even with the brand that we're working with, the radio station, it's like, I want to give you positivity. I want to uplift you. I want to empower you. I want to encourage you. You know what I mean? So that's how I want to run mine. You know what I'm saying? I ain't on no, you know, if you got, I don't want to talk about what everybody else is talking about.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So if you got in trouble when you was with somebody doing, you know, if you feel like talking about it, okay, we can talk about it. But if not, it's talking about something else.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah,
Positive.
you got it right. Everybody here is on that same alignment, right? Like you picked the right lineup. You got the right one, baby.
Exactly. I be knowing what I be doing out here. So it's funny when I was telling Matt who I was bringing in and I did the promo, he even had people calling him today like, yo, Keith from FUBU really coming in? The FUBU guys really coming in? Yeah, you know, I appreciate that that people trust in me and believe in my brand to come in here and be on my podcast. So
you know what it is? It's about giving back, you know, and I used to work for HUD back in the days, right? And I went through a crazy situation with some audit that I did, and I was in the right, but I got fired on some racial stuff. But I wound up meeting this lady there. Her name was Evelyn, and she was a sweet, older Black woman. And when I got fired, she thought it was so crazy. She was like, oh man, like you was a bright one. I saw it in you. I'm gonna reach out to my people and see what I could do for you. I got fired June 2nd, 1989. 10 days later, she got me another job in Harlem. I worked that job for the next 18 months. I went from rental assistant to office assistant to assistant manager. And then like 3 months after that, my boss called me and said, yo, I got a property on 111th Street ready to become manager. I was only 20 years old.
Wow.
And I was like, yes, I'm ready.
Let me ask
I'm
you,
ready.
since you have been in HUD, they said there's programs for people on disability to get foreclosure homes. Do you know anything about that?
Well, you know, I was 17 when I worked there. But yeah, they have so many different programs there. Even when I got fired, what I got fired over was you have to submit paperwork when you live in Section 8. I was dealing with the Section 8 part. When you have a kid, you get $480 dependency for your kid. But you got to prove, you got to submit the birth certificate, you have to have paperwork. This guy didn't have any paperwork, so he had like $500,000 worth, over $500,000 worth of the government's money that he had no paperwork for. So it was crazy. He came in there, talking reckless and my
Messed
boss.
everything up.
Yeah, that's a whole nother section. You already know. So, but it was when I got that second job and I got promoted, when my boss told me about the property, he said and I said, yeah, he said, you think you can handle it? I said, yeah, if you coach me for maybe 60, 90 days, I don't even think I'm gonna need that much, but I'll be all right. And he said, you know what, I'm proud of you. And if you ever have the chance to reach back and put another black man up the ladder, never hesitate to do so. So that mentality stuck with me all the time. So, I seen you do this when we did it at the premiere. You know what I'm saying? So when you hit me, you was all excited. I could hear your voice in the message. Yo, I just got my
you one of my Southside heroes. I was like, I gotta bring him on for sure.
So when you hit me, I was like, it's all about giving back. I mean, that's what we here for, really. And some people do it, some people don't.
That's a fact.
Some people do it genuinely, like I'm doing it genuinely. Like, it's even dropping over here. I was like, boy. You said Queens, right? I'm thinking, right over there. Not even over there. I'm thinking like left, right, and maybe closer to the city on that side. Because I've been driving all day. So when I got over there, I said, look at this shut seat. I was like, where the hell is this at? So when I got over here, they took me around all the industrial parts. I'm like, this is some bull. Where she got me going? Everything is dark. And I was like,
from me, you
got it. Like, you sure you good? I'm like, nah, it's my people, man. She my people because I would have quit on her.
I appreciate it so much. Where can they reach you on social media, young man?
You can reach me at Mr. Keezo on IG, MRKEEYZO. Keith Perrin, PERRIN on Facebook, and Mr. Keezo on Twitter.
Okay, so Kiana, come over here real quick because I need on 3 for all of y'all to say it's code 31 to end the show.
Oh, okay, absolutely.
All right, ready, guys? On 3, I need y'all to say it's code 31. Ready?
Yeah.
Can you see everybody?
On your phone.
On your phone, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Just this weekend.
Too much.
Yeah,
Yeah, right there.
All right, ready, guys? On 3.
Yes.
It's code 31. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
It's code 31.
You already know, baby. 4th show in the books. I appreciate Mr. Keith Perrin, Kiana, and Lisa Ray for being on my show. It's about unity of media, guys. It's about bringing one another up, not tearing each other down. It's Coach D and it's Code 31. Shout out to S.STREET Media, Math, World of Rama, Grindhard TV. We on the move, baby. We going up, up, up. Don't forget to get your magazines, TikTok edition, and my first edition of the magazine. And like I said, we are sponsored by FUBU tonight. Thank you to Mr. Keith Perrin. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. I appreciate you guys. It's Coach D and it's Code 31.
That's sweet. You guys know I love being a guest, right? And not having to work so hard.
I'm an engineer.
You catch us tomorrow. We'll be live and I'll be reversing the seats. You know what's up. 11 a.m. you can tune in. We got Doug Green there. Super dope. So actually, stay tuned. I'll do this real shortly about our guests.
I need some help organizing my curriculum. So I've been doing, I know like all of this plus the engineering, all that shit, like the breakdown, troubleshooting. I want to put together a seminar.
If you want to come to the next workshop that I'm doing, you can, I'll give you information.
Please, I definitely. And if anybody need, I'm looking to expand with anyone. If you need any work, I do this. I don't ask for no money. I want to just be involved in situations that's happening. Just let y'all know.
What do you mean situations that's happening?
Something that's gonna at least take me up from the past the place I'm at when I came to see you. I was a manager at DTF for 4.5 years.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
I was at DTF before.
what's your show?
Well, I was on strategy show.
DJ strategy. Yeah, I mean, she's like, Kalia Clark too.
Yeah.
Her show is here now.
Oh, okay.
No Saturday Who.
Yeah, that's the one.
But yeah, what's called I'm into just into the media aspect, and I want to.
And how
The
is
best way is to deal with other media,
so yeah,
cross promotion, cross
Right,
branding, stuff like that.
responsibility to
You have
to teach
Instagram?
young people.
Yes, I do.
The stuff that we're seeing is just like,
Turn this live.
it is, and it's like, what happened to morals and values? I posted something the other day because when I went on my IG